Killer from the new city.
Huh?
I'll meet you. Hey,
Clink.
hey, let's go.
You know the feeling, right? It's the dead of night, you're deep in a dream, and then poof, your eyes just snap open. You roll over, you look at the clock, and yep, there it is, that familiar, glowing number, 3 a.m. No alarm, no sound, but here you are, completely and totally awake. And it's just so quiet, isn't it? The rest of the world is asleep, but your brain is suddenly firing on all cylinders. You're not even tired, you're just alert. And you're left lying there wondering, why now? Why does this always happen now? Well, if this sounds like you, here's a little bit of comfort. You are so not alone. Waking up at 3 a.m. is an incredibly common human experience, and it's something people have been scratching their heads about for centuries. So today, we're going to dig in and look at it from two really fascinating angles. All right, so first things first, let's put on our lab coats and look at the biology of it all. What is actually physically happening inside your body that could be yanking you out of a perfectly good sleep? Well, the answer really starts with understanding how your sleep is built. See, your sleep isn't just one long, flat road until morning. Think of it more like a roller coaster you ride a few times a night. Each ride is a sleep cycle, and it lasts about 90 minutes. And every single time, your brain follows a pretty predictable path. So you start by just drifting off. Then you hit a nice, light sleep. From there, you go all the way down into that super restorative, hard to wake up from deep sleep. Before you come back up into REM sleep, that's where the crazy dreams happen. Now here's the crucial part. After you've done this a few times, by around 2 or 3 a.m., your body naturally starts spending way more time in those lighter stages of sleep. And that means you're much, much easier to wake up. Okay, so being in a light sleep definitely makes you more vulnerable, but that can't be the whole story, right? There's usually a specific trigger that's actually flipping that switch from asleep to awake. And very often, it's a little chemical culprit. And that culprit is cortisol. Now, it gets a bad rap as the stress hormone, but honestly, it's super important. Cortisol is what helps you feel awake and alert and get up in the morning. But its natural rhythm is key. It's supposed to be at rock bottom in the middle of the night so you can stay in a deep, restful sleep. But, and this is a big but, what happens when you're stressed? Well, if you're worried about work or money or just life, your body can start pumping out cortisol at exactly the wrong time. So, right around 3 a.m., when you're already in that light stage of sleep, you get this unnatural spike of cortisol. It's basically like a shot of adrenaline that jolts your system awake because your body thinks it needs to get ready for a fight. So, okay, we've got a really solid scientific case here. You're stressed, which spikes your cortisol, which wakes you up during a light sleep cycle. Makes sense. But for centuries, people have felt that there's something more to this moment. They've seen it less as a biological problem and more as a spiritual signal. Let's switch gears and explore that. This brings us to a much older, more intuitive way of looking at the 3 a.m. wake up. I mean, long before we had the tools to measure hormones, cultures all across the globe were paying very close attention to this time of night. Many of them called it the witching hour or the spiritual hour. The main idea here is that this specific window of time, between 3 and 4 a.m., is just different. The noise of the day is gone, the world is still, and that profound quiet creates a kind of unique space, a space where things that are usually drowned out can finally be heard. And people have found all kinds of meaning in that quiet space. Some traditions believe that the veil between our world and the spirit world is at its thinnest. For others, it's a time when creative ideas or gut feelings are crystal clear. Some feel it's a moment when ancestors or guides are trying to get a message through, and many simply see it as a powerful invitation from the universe to just be still and listen. Okay, so on one side, we have biology, and on the other, we have spirituality. They sound like they're miles apart, right? But what if they aren't two different stories? What if they're actually two ways of describing the very same experience? Let's see where they connect. I just love this quote because it frames it so perfectly. What if the science, the cortisol, the light sleep stage, is just explaining the instrument? It's the physical how, but what you feel in that moment, the sudden clarity, the deep thoughts, that sense of awareness, that's the music being played on the instrument. Think about it like this. That cortisol spike doesn't just wake you up, it also kind of strips away your brain's normal daytime filters. All the noise, the to-do lists, the anxieties that usually shout over everything else, they're gone for a moment. And in that quiet, your body might just be more sensitive, more open to hearing your own intuition, or connecting with a creative idea, or maybe feeling something deeper. The trigger might be biological, but the experience can feel absolutely profound. So, understanding the why is great, but the million-dollar question is, what should you actually do the next time you find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m.? Instead of fighting it and getting frustrated, what if you just changed your approach? Okay, rule number 1, do not under any circumstances reach for your phone. That blue light is basically a signal to your brain that says, hey, morning time. Instead, just try to embrace this little interruption. Don't fight it. Take a few slow, deep breaths to tell your nervous system it's okay to relax. Maybe keep a notepad by your bed to jot down any worries or brilliant ideas that are buzzing around. Or, just lie there. Enjoy the stillness. Treat it like a gift of quiet time, not a problem. So in the end, whether you think it's a cortisol spike or a call from the universe, the invitation is really the same. It's an invitation to listen. So the next time your eyes pop open in the deep, quiet dark, maybe ask yourself this simple question. What are you going to listen for? The loud anxieties of your day? Or the quiet wisdom that you can only really hear when the rest of the world is asleep?
Aww.